Hello and welcome to another edition of Life Conversations with Victor James. I believe I have to apologize for skipping a few weeks. Yeah, I think it was intentional at the beginning, and eventually, that's one thing about life. Once you break an habit, you better hope that you don't break it twice. That's one of the things I learned this year. If you are trying to start an habit, it's better once you, of course, you can sleep for one day, but don't sleep two times, or else you will realize that you may lose the entire commitment to sticking to that habit. Let's say you want to read Bible every day. If you break one day, maybe you be consistent for 17 days, then the 18th day you missed it. You better hope on the 19th day you must pick it up. If not, if you miss twice, you would be surprised that one year you may not go back to that streak of consistency you were trying to build. So yeah, but I think it was needed. From January I was consistent in March, and it's okay for me. I think it's okay. And now we are back again, and I will be back again next week Friday, most certainly, of course, by the grace of God. And yeah, I just want to appreciate those who asked. Don't want to be calling names, but thank you very much for asking. And asking 2 weeks ago, you asked, or last week you asked again. I think that contributed to why I returned to the microphone. Yeah, a lot has happened in these past few weeks that I've been absent, and I think that there were two episodes I wanted to record. One was to talk about this country of Nigeria, where a larger part of my audience still resides. Then maybe I really wanted to talk passionately about the country, because at that point there was fuel scarcity, there was electricity scarcity. They were not fuel scarcity per se. Fuel was not really affordable. It is still not really affordable. The price is still high till now. And then there was the general discontent that I felt from the populace. So I wanted to address that. But that's no problem about that. That's gone now. Maybe it's good that I didn't talk about it. I try not to talk about Nigeria because it's one of the most emotional and passionate things I have noticed in my life. I think it started since primary school. Yes, primary school, probably age of 10. That's when I started to be passionate about Nigeria. And yeah, in fact, this is the lowest I've been passionate since then. It's always it's a topic that always brings out all my emotions, and so yeah, please, I don't want to do that here. Then again, I wanted to talk about when Easter came. I wanted to talk about the necessity of Christ's death and the surrounding meaning of it, the surrounding circumstances, and the significance of it. But I couldn't bring myself to record that. But here am I, by the grace of God, recording this. Please, I hope my voice is very clear. Yeah, but it's quite reflective what I want to talk about. And it's past midnight, so yeah, I just hope that this is worth it as well. I trust that it will be worth it. I want to talk about living a simple life and why we must attain to live a simple life. What is a simple life? My definition, my perspective of this is that we must always aspire to simplify our lives. Maybe that's what I should say. We need to simplify our life. Whatever can complicate things, you would want to avoid them. Of course, if they are avoidable, of course. You want to do the things that God Almighty approves, that doesn't cloud your mind, that you will now be, You don't want to be feeling guilty, feeling bad, feeling regret for days, for months over an action. Why did you take that action then? That is not living a simple life. So, to be clear, I think that a simple life suggests that you are in control and you have decided on things to choose. Let me say this. I've shared this story several times in previous podcasts, but I have, for most of my life, I've always been clear that about the things I want most, which has always been love. Love and people. It was clear. It's been clear to me. I love my family, therefore I spend a lot of time with them. Before I left home, I was 27 or so. Imagine, before I left them, before I left my family, yeah. So yeah, I mean, left the house to go to my own apartment. That's what time I was 27 then. So I have always been like that, a close knit family. I knew that love was important, and I lived it that way. You show love to people. It's just love. There is no need to hate anybody. I never felt the need to stay angry for a long time, put people in your mind, don't forgive. I don't know how to do that, even till now, because that's how I was. That's what I knew growing up. So, yeah. So that's one. And then people. I've always been a people person. But when I say people person, it's not in the general definition that we know. Of course, I can be that too. Maybe people's favorite, people like you. Yeah, you like people. You want to be amongst people. But that's not correct. I want to be amongst my people, not just people. I don't have enough, what was it called? Enough understanding of people, just random people doing anyhow, especially in this our own society where whatever is defined as normal has been is bad. It has been polluted. Whatever we now think is normal is certainly not. So me, I don't I strongly oppose things like that. And therefore I may not be a people person per se. All right. But I've always wanted to do things for people. That's been fact. I've always loved people, and I've always wanted to do things for people. Just if you have 100 naira, let 50 naira half of it. Let it be for others. Let 50 be for you. I've always been like that. At least secondary school. Okay, let me start from secondary school. When I started, I realized that I was good at the use of English language as a subject in secondary school. I remember secondary school, I was 15 to 16. I remember that when we were preparing for WAEC, I remember that because I was good at English language then, or maybe I should say I am good. I went to the board and I taught my classmates. Nobody sent me. I taught them how to write letter writing. Put the structure on the board. Dear sir, I put the formal letter, I sign it, I put the letter. Nobody taught me. In SS1, I remember this now. That will be 2006 World Cup. Germany 2006, yes. I started updating the highest goal scorers for the league, for the World Cup, for my classmate. I was in SS1 then. I remember that we wanted to do things for people. Of course, that resulted in a terrible story. Maybe I should share it. Yeah, I think I can. It's not a terrible story, it's a funny story. So, in the morning when they score when they score a goal, I will go to the chalkboard and write Omera Slav closer. I scored 2 goals in this. Michael Ballack has scored 1 goal. Filippo Inzaghi has scored 1 goal. I will just write the names of the players and the number of goals they've scored. Then the next game, once people score more goals, I will just updating it on beside the sheet. We have a blackboard, very wide blackboard in the class. Then beside it, there's a small space that is used for notice board. So I was writing it on that in that on that short space of blackboard. So writing the ISO score of the Germany 2006 World Cup. That will be June 2026. 2006. Wow, that's 20 years ago now. Wonderful. So I was doing it, and people before began to like it, began to monitor it. We were having conversations around it. It was a nice gesture. And then came Mr. Ajayi, the physics teacher. He came to the class one day and saw that chalkboard with the highest goal scorer list, and then asked that, who wrote this? Now, when you write who wrote this, in a sane society, I would think that it should come with a reward. But I know that that man can never reward anybody. He's just a person who waits. He was an angry man. Yeah. Anyway, who wrote this? Of course, I knew that I was in for a big trouble. So I managed to stammer and stand up, just raise my head slowly. I've never been the one to know how to, you know, resist or bear beating. So I said, "Oh, come outside." I of course, the class knew that. The class. It was very clear that I was in trouble. Of course, by now the man, even though he doesn't show any emotion, to be honest, he doesn't show that he's angry at anything. He's the same face. I don't want to say sadist. He's just, he will look as if he's doing the work of God, really. The way he would look, as if he doesn't look as if he's angry, neither does he look as if he's taking pleasure in it. He just beat, he was like that. He was cruel to students. I think that's his reputation. And now that he asked that who wrote this, I knew that I knew that there was a great trouble. So I stood up, and he called me out. He said, first of all, he said I was using the property of the government. I was wasting it, and the chalk of the school property, that I'm wasting it writing those things on the notice board. I now quickly explained, which I think I needed to. Thank God I did that. I said, "Sir, so no, sir," because by now I was close to tears. I'm not one of those people who know how to receive lashes of cane. No. So I was close to tears. Sorry, sir. No, sir. It was the shock that the teachers, the remnant of the shock that they use, and that's true. So teachers would write when it remains just a small portion of the shock, they will throw it on the floor. Or some teachers will even throw it at students. Once they catch you making noise, instead of writing your notes, they throw the small pieces of shock at you. So yeah, I just explained that. Oh, it's the shock that I can. Why can I get access to full shock? I'm not the class captain now, so how would I be able to do that? So I explained to him that this is not it's remnant that I used to write this, but of course, a teacher. He was a physics teacher, but I think they said they read math really. But because we lagged physics teacher throughout that SS1, almost one full year, all up until June, they now drafted him to teach us. So he took me outside the class. Right there, no, he took his cane, said I should go. Took me out through the door, took me to the side of the window. That's outside. Then he said I should hold on to one of the pillars of the window. And yeah, I turned my back to him, and he started, lashing and whipping me with a very strong brown cane. Yeah, one. Of course, before he even started, I was crying. And they did that, and they did that, and they did that. I believe maybe at least maybe it's between 6 to 10. Because I can't bear it. I couldn't bear it, so he couldn't continue to beat me. My body was in pains, hot, in pains. Then he now told me to clean the notice board, and I went there and I cleaned it. And I cleaned it, and then he now said I should buy, I think, full packs of shock, maybe 3 or 2. So I went to buy it and I submitted it to him. So I should give the class captain, I think. So that's the story of. But you know that, in all honesty, anytime since then, anytime people began to, when I was in church and the pastor preaching about forgiveness, he was the only one that I had in mind. That this man, he really, you are beaten as a young person. Really, your parents beat you, teachers beat you, even from where I grew up. Neighbors will beat you. Neighbor beat me. Cane, no strong cane, not slap. Deliberate beat, intentional beating. But there are some that that was unfair. Even till now, 20 years later, that was very unfair. That was very unfair. But eventually, I think it was when I was about leaving the school, about 2 years later, I just found it in my heart. And I said that I forgive you too, Mr. Ajayi, physics teacher. The man, of course, as you would expect, he was a poor teacher. In fact, there are many people who believe that he contributed to their failure. It's not because of any animosity I have against him. It's not. I'm now thinking about it now that I'm older. And I consider where he went to school, when he studied the physics and math option. And in education, he went to College of Education to study it. I can understand. And he became a government school teacher. Of course, it was a government school. So you didn't expect him to be very good at it. I understand now. So that's the story of that Mr. Ajayi. I'm calling him Mr. because I don't want to call his correct title, but let me just be honest. He's Pastor Ajayi. From beginning, I deliberately didn't want to put the title we used to call him. At that point, throughout the church, throughout the school, everybody knew him as Pastor Ajayi because he was a pastor. But I didn't want to, I was trying to protect, Anyway, so that man, I heard that he died some probably 5 years ago or so. Yes. I don't know, maybe he's still alive, because I now that I'm saying it, I'm wondering what if it's not he's still alive. But in my mind, there's nothing there. There's nothing there against him. Of course, since many years, I had to let it go now. He was acting based on his own understanding of what is right and wrong. Of course, if that were to happen in some other institution, I'm sure that they would encourage me, because that thing that I did then until today, it still reflects. I mean, that following up or giving updates on news on what was going on at the World Cup, the love for football, all of them, delivering updates, love for football, still till today, still stayed with me 20 years later. Of course, physics that the man was teaching me then, I left it after 100 level of university. But let me get back to the topic, and I like that I shared this story. At least, hopefully, it entertained you. But more than that, I realized now that it's still in alignment with what I'm talking about, which is the desire and the striving to live a simple life. What then is a simple life? 2 examples would come to mind: Jesus Christ and Gandhi. Gandhi was a man. It's a pity that I have to explain Gandhi, because normally he's one of the most popular human beings that has ever been in this world. he would just throw a robe around himself, Mahatma Gandhi. He threw a robe around himself. He used transparent rim glasses, round rim glasses. So he was fighting then because the British Empire were, ruling over, as they did with Nigeria and several countries in Africa, they were ruling over India. So he was now trying to state his claim for self-rule, that Indians should rule Indians and bring an end to colonialism. But I think that's just a part of what he stood for. He also stood for several things around truth and peace. But what Mahatma Gandhi, what became popular for, and if you look him up, he became a symbol for non-violence. He doesn't fight. He will not shout. Is not violence. He became a symbol for peace. In fact, if you Google, he's considered as a symbol for peace. Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, Mahatma Gandhi will be possibly number 2. He was a non-violence. I think he should be the first person to stand for. You are demonstrating. You are protesting, but without violence. So you will sit in a place. They can do sit down on the street. That's it. Morning till night, morning till night, morning till. Of course, this man was very frail. All his picture, he was very frail. Because, he's not somebody who's attached to this world like that. Eventually, he grew old and he died. All his picture, you see that he's white-haired. And then, of course, he died. But till today, the gospel of peace and non-violence that he preached, till today, still goes around the world. That is Mahatma Gandhi, the man. Now, Jesus, the Son of God, too. Prince of Peace. The same thing, non-violence. He was standing before the high priest, before Pilate. What did you do? Are you the one that said, are you the one? He just kept quiet. When they slashed off the ear of somebody, when they came to attack him in the night, Malchus, they slashed the ear of Malchus. He said, no, put away the sword. He hid that man, returned the ear to the right place. That is Jesus. Of course, he was peaceful. What I realized from the two of them is the simplicity of their lives. Jesus will even say that don't own too much properties, because once your treasure is laid up here, your heart will be here. The same thing with Mahatma Gandhi too. You just want to live simply. So, which brought me to the core of my monologue. Now, where are we? We are in a place, we are in a season, we are in a world where I know a lot of people are worried about the future. And I realized that slowly I'm becoming like them. That is what necessitated this podcast in the first place, because I don't want to be that way. So you are worried about the future, you are concerned about the present, you are bothered, you are afraid, you are anxious, you are now becoming bitter. You are not satisfied with anything again, and you find no pleasure in even things that used to give you pleasure. What has happened? You have stopped living life simply. Living life simply means that, do you have a place to sleep? Yes, I do. Do you have what you want to eat today and tomorrow? Yes, I do. In fact, from Jesus' teaching is to be just today, but me, I'm even explaining it and expanding it to even tomorrow. Yes, I do. Do you have clothes over your back? Yes, I do. There is nothing that should worry you. In many instances, many of us, we don't have any chronic disease or sickness that we are thinking maybe death will soon come for us. No. It's just the thought of, I need to save more for the future. I need to earn more for the present, to eat more. It's not as if we can't eat now. We want to know what to eat in the next maybe 1 year. want to know where to stay, accommodation for the next one, want to improve, want to go to a place where there's band aid, where there is absolutely constant, like want to move to a society where things work better. Those are the things really. We want to buy the most fashionable clothes, the one that fit us, not just cover our nakedness. Those are the secondary needs. In fact, maybe they are tertiary. They are not needs, they are desires. They are the ones that really, they are the ones that complicate our choices. But the question then, therefore, is that can you do anything? Yes. What can you do? One, worrying about you will not solve it. Being bitter about you will not solve. What can you do? It's just one thing. You improve yourself. That's it. You improve yourself. Now, in the improvement of yourself, being bitter, being angry, being feeling that life is unfair, it doesn't contribute to you improving yourself. You just improve yourself because of your desire to do so and because of your commitment to do so. But in the midst of improving yourself, because many of us went to school for 4 years or 6 years or 12 years or 12 plus 4 years, which is 16 years. Many of us did education for 16 years and we were okay. All right. So, but now what I really want us to know is that the fact that you want to maximize the future or improve your future does not mean that you should disregard the present. Does not mean that the present should not become you should be dissatisfied with it up to the point that your own life is now getting, choked up. So, what am I recommending? I'm recommending that we should focus on the things that we really need and not lose faith that we will improve upon ourselves and therefore improve upon the things we own as we move forward. And we should not be, we should not be too, we should not pursue ownership and accumulation of wealth more than is required of us. So that's it. What do we do going forward? I need to clarify what I want. That is, what are the most important things? For me, till today, love is still very important. You love people and therefore you try to spend time with them. Note that I did not say you should give money necessarily to that. Spend time, create memories with them, just be with them. People that you love. That's one. People, therefore, need to do things for people more. I think it happened about frequently in 2-3 years ago. I would just feel in my soul, I will feel a big emptiness as if, what am I doing with my life? Anytime I feel it, it's because I have stopped doing things for others. Maybe I've stopped writing, I've stopped doing podcasts, I've stopped doing videos. I've become too focused on my own self. It's anytime I become I'm worried about myself, I'm trying to accumulate things for myself. Next thing I feel the emptiness. So most time I already know the response to that is to do things for others. Give myself over for other people's, success. Do something for others. Just give for others. And I think this is the same thing with people. Once I see people complain about whatever they are doing and the prospect for the future looking very dark, what I tell them is, you need to make your life more relevant, more meaningful. You need to give more. You need to give yourself out more to the humanity, to the world. Let people have a lot more of you. People would think, Jesus said it in the Bible. He said, "You that keep his life shall lose it." And there is he that gathereth and tendeth to poverty. But the person who spreads, gets wealth. It's the same thing. It's a law of life. And that's what I'm saying here. So I think that we have become too wise, wiser than Jesus himself, who by himself, he came to this world, he felt what he felt, and he recommended that he should not take too much thought. In fact, he said, take no thought, take no thought. But let's just say that maybe it was the translation. So take little thought. Take little thought of what of tomorrow, what you shall eat, what you shall sleep for. Don't complicate your life with the worries of tomorrow. What you can do is today. You can control today. What can you control in today? You are doing more for yourself. You are improving yourself. You are becoming a better human being. You are becoming a better professional. Whatever you are doing, you are improving it. That you don't need to now think that, oh, imagine, let's say somebody is doing something. What they are fulfilling a role. Let me think. You are a project manager. So when a project manager thinks and says, "Oh, this money I'm being paid here is not enough," what do you think the project manager thinks first? For many cases, statistically, is to say, "What else can I do? This project manager job is not paying." No. So you now say, maybe I should become a bank. You cannot just abandon that path just because of that. What you should do is improve yourself while you're on that path. Improve yourself as a project manager. But stay on that track because, come on, you invested to be here. You have experience here. And God wants you to be here, especially that. Are you good? Even if God, if seeking the face of God is difficult, maybe you don't know whether God wants you to be here. Are you capable? Are you good at this? Yes. We are living in a world where we have seen success come to everybody for whatever small little thing they are doing. Of course, it will come to you, but you cannot jump it. Can't leave it. And what I say to you, I say unto myself, really. Really. We are supposed to improve ourselves, but we need to reduce the thought, the kind of preoccupation we have about what tomorrow might bring. Yeah, I think it's getting too much. It's getting too much. Take no thought. That's a recommendation of Jesus. And look at Jesus. Till today is popular. If you want to say he's the Son of God, look at Mahatma Gandhi. Till today, they are great humans. What of the person he was the richest in the world in the 16th century? Do you know the person? Do you know the name of the person who was richest in the world in 1920? You don't. It's not reasonable. It's not of importance to you. So please, what I say, I want to remind us again as I conclude this podcast. If you have enjoyed the story, I hope that's something to enjoy. If you have gained something from the opening paragraph, opening minutes, I hope that's also something. If you are yet in now, where I've now talked about what is really bothering my mind, I hope that you also learn that. Please, let's stay in the present more. We have a lot of things to be happy about. Let's be happy about them. Let's not think too far into the future. What if this? What if? No, I don't think that is healthy, and I don't think it's recommended by either Jesus Christ or the wisdom of this world. Of course, the wisdom of this world is foolishness to God. So yeah, I'm sure that you know what that means. Please improve yourself. That's all I can say. Spiritually, be a spiritual person. Be more better spiritual person. Be a better spiritual person. Physically, be fitter. Eat better. Make your body, make it of greater constitution, and let it just be fitter. Health, be more healthy. And psychologically, listen to things that will bless your life. Think about it that will bless your life. Listen to great podcasts and conversations like this. Read, clarify your mind, purify your mind. Don't be beleaguered with worry. That's psychological. And then professionally, improve what you are doing. Be better at it. Find ways to maximize it. But please, cut off all these kind of worry about what will be the next 2 years, what will be the next even 9 months, even 6 months. We can't control it, and I believe it's what is complicating our lives the most. So please, let's reduce it. Let's reduce it. Let's live more in the moment. And as we do that, I hope and I pray that we will meet real happiness and joy. It will be part and parcel of us for now and for the rest of our life. Thank you very much. My name is Victor James, and I welcome you back to Life Conversations. You can share with friends if you have been blessed, and if you've enjoyed this particular podcast episode. Goodbye, and have a beautiful life. Don't worry, be happy.